I've lived 1,000 lives. I've piloted 1,000 souls. I've killed and fought and died just for another role.
This is the Happy Jacks RPG podcast, a roundtable discussion that's a mix of friendship, humor, unbridled enthusiasm, and tabletop RPG topics sent in from around the world.
Just for another role.
Hello, and welcome to Season 36, Episode 11 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. My name is Kimmy.
I'm Clara.
And I'm Rose.
In tonight's episode, Steffi from Scotland suggests a game classification system. Arrya from New Jersey asks about redoing scenes when you're in a campaign, and back from the archive 2021, Eric from New Jersey, we have a lot of New Jersey representing tonight, sends some updates on what they were doing at the time in 2021. If you'd like to contribute a question or story to the show, you can email us at happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. That's happyjacksrpg@gmail.com. Or you can post in the mailbag channel of the Discord at happyjacks.org/discord. If you're sending an email, please give it a very clear title that's like for the show, because the email address has been a long running email address and it gets a lot of spam now. And a lot of TTRPG related spam. So just having a title that is TTRPG related doesn't mean that it's going to very clearly catch my eye as an email for the show.
What is TTRPG related spam?
Mostly announcements by creators wanting you to do their stuff, or like now it's a bunch of like bot emails that are pulling in the names of the wrong podcasts we do, saying you want to talk about this on your show, and it's like no, I don't want on the actual play feed to talk about your product. That's not what we do on the actual play feed. Like
I was like, doctors hate this one trick, make your dice bigger, like spam. I was really excited.
no, not mostly.
Okay.
Mostly it's people trying to either sell ad space or like try and get us to have them featured on the show. But I don't even, like, when it's people actually reaching out to me, I usually, like, respond and talk about it and stuff. But, like, now 90% of the time, it's just, like, these, like, spam email services that are, like, insert name here.
Single DM
Can
in
you
your
get-
area.
We need Etsy dice blessings, actually.
I'm sure that's gotta be a thing.
No.
That's
Just
such
so
a
you know, if you're emailing me, my name is not Happy Jack or Hi Happy.
Oh,
I get that a
really?
lot. There's a
Hi,
lot
Happy.
of emails coming in to Happy.
That's
Hey,
so
Happy,
cute.
I've listened to your podcast and really love your content. And I'm like, clearly you do.
Obviously, you do.
I'm
Yeah.
still hung up on like sexy GMs in your area.
Yeah.
Of course there are. I have a mirror.
They
Yeah,
keep
hello.
lying to me.
Anyway, so back to the nicely, carefully planned out intro that I totally derailed with my spam venting. All right. Announcements. We're doing some updates to the Patreon. We talked about this a little bit in the last show. I posted a poll so that if you're listening to this, you might want to go check and see if that's still up. If you're a Patreon, it's pretty clear right now. We're just going to make all the content available to all tiers, unless a whole bunch of you go in and vote for something different. Basically, we're doing that change because, like, times are rough, times are hard, it sucks, and there's a lot of people who still want to support the show, but they can't at the highest levels. So I would rather make all the rewards for the Patreons available to everyone and have people still support us however they can. And then hopefully the people who can like afford it can kick in a few extra dollars and like help make up for it so we can still run the air conditioning and all those things here. Because yeah, it's helpful.
Beam me
but
in from outer space.
Beam you in from outer
Yes.
space, exactly.
God.
So yeah, that's the biggest thing. We want everyone to we want to show our thanks to the Patreons, and we don't want some people to feel less than just because, you know, life is hard and you have to afford groceries. So we appreciate all of you. We really, you know, we couldn't do this without you. I couldn't do this without you. My salary would not cover this. So we really, really appreciate all that you do. So if you'd like to join Patreon, you can go to happyjacks.org/Patreon and it will redirect you to our Patreon page. And I will sometime in the next few weeks go through and reclassify all the back posts and stuff, which will take a very long time. But so they're available to all the paid tiers. So I think it's D4 and above will get everything. Bennies, we really appreciate it. But yeah, and free backers. I don't even know why Patreon does free backers. I don't know what that's for. I've never read the article that they sent me about it. So if you're a free backer, thanks. Okay. Indie designer of the month. Our indie designer for this month is Ross Payton, he, him, of Roleplaying Public Radio. He was actually on our show last month. It was very cool. You can find his work by searching Slang Designs on DriveThruRPG or by supporting him on patreon.com/rppr. Today's product we're talking about is The Night Clerk, an architectural horror zine.
I know this game.
Yeah. It's actually aesthetic. It's like it though. So, characters check in to Sleepy Easy Inn, a cheap hotel for a night, and wake up somewhere else. At first, it looks like the hotel, but the windows show only a black void outside, and no one can open a door or break a window to escape. The guests are now trapped in an infinite labyrinth designed to break their minds. Escape is possible, but only if they find the night clerk, a person who has trapped them on in the first place, or the 13th floor, the heart of the labyrinth. The Night Clerk is a full-color, 44-page, system-agnostic zine featuring a new monster, tables for unnatural artifacts, random encounters, and more. It's a flexible framework to make a unique architectural horror experience for your playgroup. And you can get it for $10 on DriveThruRPG if you look up Slang Designs.
As a person who loves House of Leaves,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I was like, why do I know Ross Payton? Why do I know this? It's this specific game.
Yeah. Ross loves like a good like dungeony setting. Like his other one that we talked about, his base game is all about like superheroes having disappeared from the world for some whatever reason, and like all their secret bases have been left behind. So people are now like trying to break into them, excavate them, find all their superpowered stuff, and like get powers themselves. I love it. So it's very cool. But yeah, like, Clara, soon to be clinical psychologist. What does it mean if you design over and over again labyrinth after labyrinth?
I can't give that advice unless you pay me $200 first. No,
I think in the world of the immortal Brennan Lee Mulligan, if you mess with the bull, you get the horns.
Yeah,
That's what it means.
That's what it means.
I see.
Yeah, no, oh God, one day maybe on Nerding Out, I'll do a like, truly, I'll be like, I'll do like the forbidden knowledge when you start crossing the streams between psychology and your TTRPG character, because I've been doing a lot of deconstructing.
Yeah, it's probably not like an ethics violation if you're deconstructing a character.
It's like a vibes thing. Well, it's like it's an educational thing. The ethics violation is if I say I'm a licensed clinician now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You have a lot more homework before that happens.
Yeah, no, I'm a grad school student, so I can say whatever the fuck I want right now. Everyone goes, yeah, don't listen to her.
Don't listen. Like, no, finish the homework first.
Yeah, no, it's directly out of my ass, which is why it's a Patreon award.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Moving on. Mailbag number 1. Who would like to read this one?
I can go ahead.
All right. Rose, go.
Okay. Sorry, let me pull this up. Greetings, Kimmy, and the pigeons she caught and contained neatly in their boxes.
That's a crazy choice.
It's so accurate for tonight.
Steffi. Oh my God. And I just disappeared.
Oh no, we're all gone.
Sorry, I hit the button.
Back from outer space.
Oh God, this tech is getting so bad.
I know. We really should have invested in the teleporter that isn't just a murder cloning machine.
Yeah,
but there just wasn't money in the budget for it.
It's a thing I now know. You can go through the hell dimension to travel. This is the thing I've learned since I started learning about not World of Warcraft. What's the thing? Warhammer. I'm doing
no. Just sure you travel through hell in World of Warcraft. That is a definitely true thing.
You travel through hell.
Mm-hmm.
Kimmy's dying.
Okay. Trust me, she's not the only one. Okay.
You missed me.
It is I, Steffi from Scotland, Bumbletrue in the chat. Recently, a TTRPG from a well-known AP enterprise has come out, and I noticed a divide. Excuse me, a divide in my voice, apparently. I am not talking about the usual divide of the thing good or thing bad. I am also not talking about the divide of thing revolutionary or thing as salad bowl of other games. It is the divide of thing story game or thing not story game. It got me thinking about how I define story games. I've been defining story games where the mechanics are is not a means to a goal, but about character personality and feelings. Examples: D&D is not a story game because mechanics are focused on fighting, while Masks, the new generation, is a story game because the mechanics are mainly about self-image and emotion. This got me categorizing and thinking about edge cases. With my definition, Dungeon World and Demigods are not story games, while Vampire the Masquerade and Fate are. Some edge cases are Daggerheart, Call of Cthulhu, and Star Trek Adventures, where I wouldn't class them as story games, but there is an important mechanic or two tied to personality or feelings. I've come to the decision that my definition is wrong. I agree. Sorry to call you out on this one, Steffi. At least for story games. Perhaps there should be a different definition. Games like Masks, Brindlewood Bay, etc. are me games. Games like Dungeons and Dragons and Blades in the Dark are do games. The borderline games are me do. I'm starting to lose you on this one, Steffi.
Like suddenly, it's like a doo-wop group. Me do, me do, me do, do games.
It does sound like it sounds like any kind of like what's the word I'm looking for? Low HP, like,
Yeah.
grindable. That's just the sound they make. Me do.
It's just the low HP Pokemon sound effect on loop.
It's
Me
the
do,
Rattata.
Me do,
Yeah.
me do. Games like Decima and The Quiet Year are up games because we are up above the games. Is there merit to this? Would this be a useful way to define games for players and GMs to know if it's for them? But also back to story games. How do our fabulous hosts define story games, and what would be a borderline for them? Steffi from Scotland. P.S. I don't like the definition of playing the game traditionally or writer's room because outside of GM-less games and up games, that's a play style, not a system. I can play Powered by Apocalypse with a mountain of prep, and you can run Traveler as a writer's room. That, I'm going to push back on that. You can run any game as a writer's room, but you're not running it as it's written. Anything you can take a writer's room approach and get player input for like what story things are, but that is not a core assumption of those games.
I'm gonna herd the cats slightly.
Okay.
I'm gonna herd us back to the beginning of the email. We're
The
gonna go
pigeons.
chronologically through the ideas in the email, returning to the end of the email in just a minute. But I think
Okay, and we will be
'cause
here as the pigeons that you have caught in a box.
Yes.
Aha, yes.
Oh no! Oh no! My necklace just broke.
Uh-oh.
I need everyone to imagine first that when we start this conversation, I'm already standing on the table.
Okay.
That's where we're starting from.
Okay. I think we all kind of agree that like a lot of the definitions for games, it's because there is no like actual classification system. It's just kind of like hobby made vernacular. Like the definitions for things have actually you can watch in real time almost as they migrate and change and suddenly become other things. So I sort of hesitate often. Like we still do get like definition emails a lot, but like it's just so constantly changing that I rarely like use them in the show anymore. But I did like the idea behind kind of the do versus me. Like I think there is a grain of like value
something good there.
Yeah, there's something there. I don't know if I specifically like those words, but I think there's something there.
It gives like I think the last time I was on the advice show, we talked about another taxonomy of games thing,
Mm-hmm.
and like my kingdom for AO3 tags for our games. Like it's being able to like it's high fantasy enemies to lovers, or like I don't know. I've forgotten every single AO3 tag that's not going to get me canceled. The Omegaverse games.
Oh.
Oh no!
Oh.
I don't know why. The energy in the studio tonight is bad, and it's my fault. The like to actually try to get back on point. I struggle because I agree a little bit on this idea that like there are some games that need you to the now games. There are some games that like if I sit down to play D&D, because I think I've ranted about this before on the advice show, is like the mechanics are just adjudicators for conflict, and then the game actually isn't great at telling you how to do the roleplay bits. And then like if you're used to that, I've been having, this isn't a 7th reference, I've been playing Night's Black Agents, which is a gumshoe game. And the discrepancy on the very reactionary style that D&D gives you, where the GM puts a monster in front of you and you go, oh my god, what are you looking up?
No, keep talking.
So sorry, Kimmy scared
You're fine.
me.
No, you're fine.
Look for the Lindsay Ellis one.
Yeah, I'm looking for that one.
So sometimes like it's a game, you know, reactionary is like a GM has a little haunted house for you, and you walk from room to room, and the GM puts a little, or it's like a dark ride. They put a monster in front of you, and everyone goes, "Oh my god, a monster!" The gumshoe system gives you a menu of game of like things to do, kind of. Through your investigative skills. And then you have to be like, I want a scene using flattery to pursue this clue. And so as a player, you are invited more to help tell the story. And I'm noticing that's where my big taxonomy is starting to do divides, is like the agency the player has within the story, which is kind of what Steffi, I feel like, is like cluing into. Because I think the biggest part of, if you're going further than like, hey, what genre do you want to play? The next step I'm asking people to do is like, tell me how much you want me to participate in this game. I can lay back and let you do most of the work, and I'll just make sounds at you. Or I can like be a willing participant and like offer something, you know? Neither of them are wrong. I just like need to know if I'm doing a Pillow Princess game or not, which we shouldn't use that term. I hope any of that made sense. Kimmy is posting.
Real quick before we jump into more actual smart talking, if you don't know what the Omegaverse is,
I'm doing any smart talking.
I just said Pillow Princess game.
Okay, still, but like, if you don't know what the Omegaverse is, that was a very online reference. Look up Lindsay Ellis's Omegaverse video. It's about an hour long. You will not get that hour of your life back, but it's a good video. And it really explains the whole thing, and your life will not be better after you know what the Omegaverse is, but it just is a thing. Anyway, please continue, Rose.
Kimmy, I've seen that video. I don't think anything about my life improved after seeing that.
Oh, that's why I said
mine was great.
Yours
Actually,
will not improve.
Okay, well, good for you.
You will get the
Good.
reference, but your life will not be better.
Yeah, true. What the
All of
fuck
this
was
show.
I talking about? Yeah, Pillow Princess games, and trying to find a better word for that. Because there's a lot of things going on there. But the idea of like a haunted house game where it's like I'm going to move you from scene to scene, and each scene is going to have its own scare and its own like exclamation point to it.
Yeah, like a dark ride.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but I know what a haunted house is.
Yeah, haunted house then.
So, yeah, moving from room to room, and like you could have D&D games where you can actually go in any direction. You're not on tracks, but each place you go is going to have its own little exclamation point of a scene, its own cool monster to fight, its own cool NPC to interact with, and the GM does all of the work for creating that. That is kind of how I would describe a lot of traditional games assumptions of GMing happen. A lot of games like, D&D, Traveler, all of that is very strongly the GM prepares their, exciting things to show the players and then shows them to the players. Like it's that, hey, look at this cool rock or this cool diorama I've made for you to interact with. Um and that for some people works really, really well. People really love GMing that. People really love playing that. People want to interact with the dioramas. Other games like PBTA games get a little bit more, hey, why don't you come over? We're both going to build a diorama together and then and then enjoy interacting with that. Or we're not even going to build like the structure of a diorama. We're just going to like do improv together. Or let's all sit around a campfire and tell each other stories. That's where things like For the Queen, and even like if you're playing Decima as its own game, it's a, hey, let's all create this kind of story soup together, and we're all going to add our ingredients in, and we're all going to make something out of this, and then we're all going to enjoy it together. Which is great. I find myself very much leaning towards those, let's build a diorama together, let's be as collaborative as possible. Um, but I still like to come up with a few dioramas of my own. When I run masks, I spend a lot of time learning about what pieces my players want to add to the diorama, what things they want, what flavors they want to put in the soup. But then I'll go through and I'll add some garnishes to it. I'll, get some garlic bread for it, and then I will very happily serve them a bowl of soup and tell them a story. Um, there's
Soup
lots
season.
of I love
I love
it is
soup.
soup season. Good soup.
It is.
Good
Good soup.
soup. Um,
Sorry.
and some it's like the idea of like coming over to a friend's place who has made dinner for you, or whether you're doing a potluck. Like,
Yeah.
is everybody bringing an ingredient to this, or is someone going to make dinner for you, which is a very special and very cool thing and a very involved process. It's a lot of work to make dinner for an entire table of people. But there are some people who love doing that, and there are some people who do not want to cook. Someone's gonna just bring the paper towels.
Yeah.
You know, somebody's just gonna bring seltzers, and call it good. Um, and that, like, that works. Like, none of those are a bad way to spend an afternoon together.
Yeah. It's very much a like, however, it's the level of how much do you want me to make truths about the world? Because like,
Hmm.
if I'm building out my character, it's that like, oh, it would be cool if my character was the long lost princess that is like a religious figure, and that implies to the GM that they're like, I gotta make a religion great, cool. And so like it's like, how much do you want me to say, to pitch for this world? If you want to do all of it, if you want to make the soup, go for it. If you want me to bring something, you got to tell me. And so I do, and that is kind of what the me feels like. With like when they said like Brindlewood, when Steffi says that when Brindlewood Bay is a me game, I do kind of think of that in like in Brindlewood Bay, the mystery is and the resolution are kind of prepped and solved together, like by the players
Yeah.
together.
That is a game where somebody brings like the players are bringing a full course of the meal
Yeah.
versus like a traditional, like if you're doing that in, say, Savage Worlds, like or even Monster of the Week, the GM would create the course, and then the fun of solving it is eating the meal,
Yes.
versus, okay, I've brought, like, not only am I gonna have a say in what the meal is, I'm gonna have say on like all of the ingredients, how it's gonna be plated, all of this stuff. Like Brindlewood Bay gives a lot of power to the players,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of and I've seen like a big reason of why some people really bounce off of it is because it takes one of the largest, like, it takes that centerpiece, it takes the turkey for the Thanksgiving dinner and says, hey players, fuck it up however you want, like get crazy with it. Which some people are like, no, that turkey is mine as the GM, and it's a very important and very special thing that it should be my responsibility to make.
Yeah. There's sorry, Kimmy, I feel bad. We're like
You're fine. You're good.
the oh my god, I got distracted by the turkey conversation. It's now it's gone.
Okay, I do have to say that I feel like the kind of the metaphor of a dinner is actually a very clear one that might actually be like one of the most useful ways of describing like a vibe at a table, literally a vibe at a table in like all ways. But like then a lot of other terminology I've heard, it's like, oh, it's a potluck style. So it's like we all bring our own little thing. Oh, it's a, formal dinner. So I'm presenting it to you and you dress up and you come. And then, or it's like, oh no, we're all baking together. It's like a communal kitchen type situation. Like I feel, I don't know. Those are, maybe it's just because I'm hungry because I haven't had dinner yet, but those are much better descriptions than a lot of the terms I've seen pop around the TTRPG industry.
No, it's also relatable
Yeah.
versus like it's a high concept deck builder in which you and your friends all play skeletons who between the periods of time turn out the lights and contemplate your existence. Thank you, Jason Morningstar.
Yeah, I mean, we love skeletons here, but yeah, great game. But yeah, no, when you're describing things, I think that's one of the things that we forget. Like when we're trying to come up with these definitions for the hobby, most of the time, the people who need these definitions to work the most are the people who aren't already in the hobby. People who don't know. If you're like, oh, it's like for the queen, they're like, what is that? I don't know what that means. Like, these are all words I know, and in that order, they make no sense. Like,
it's a very recursive reference.
Yeah.
Like you're just referencing a thing that's like another thing that's like another thing. Like when I say, oh, it's PBTA. What's PBTA mean? Powered by the Apocalypse. What does that mean? It means based off of the Apocalypse World game engine. Yeah. What the fuck is that?
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know.
Are you familiar with the concept of death?
Yeah.
Do you know what water is? Do
you know what water is?
These abstract. Can you tell me what is it? A rock?
To make it the second callback to what we were talking about before the camera turned on, I have a couple passive aggressive mailbox entries in the Discord that I will never send. But like who these definitions are for, one of my passive aggressive mailbox entries is a thing about like how much interaction do you expect from your players? Because I am a psychopath who loves homework in my D&D game that I will never do. But I like being assigned it.
Yeah.
And so
oh my god, the teacher and me just like my heart just like squeezed.
I had to read I had to read Dracula.
Yeah.
And they added more Dracula to the Dracula for me to read, and I did it. I don't remember any of it, but I did do it.
Wait, recently for your master's degree?
No, man, this is on top of my master's degree.
I was like, for your D&D campaign homework.
For my Dracula dossier game, they give you.
What psychology class is making you read extra Dracula? Like, I'm fascinated by. I want to take this class.
I completely forgot you were playing Night's Black Ages, so I was like, why are for your D&D game you're reading Dracula?
No, I have succumbed to the I say D&D when I mean TTRPG, and I am sorry, I did forget I was at Hap. I know, I forgot I was here. I'm so sorry, Mom. I won't use that language again. But
we'll forgive you just the one time.
Yeah.
Just the one time.
Oh no, Thanksgiving's gonna be bad. But yeah, the I found myself having some struggles with this idea of like, how much interaction do you want to, how much homework are you willing to do for a game? And for me, I'm like, if I'm not in the writer's room with my GM the like week before like a couple days before session, being like, here's all the knives I've made for my character, please stab me. Then I feel like maybe they don't care about me, and I know that's not true. But like the idea of like I want to help you cook. I might not always be good at it, but I do want to help you cook. At least let me hold a pan.
Yeah.
Let me wash a dish. And so but not everyone wants that or expects that or appreciates that. So being able to say, like, if I'm bringing someone new to the hobby, and they're on board for the improv and they're on board for the like funny voices or whatever, and they're just willing to sit next to me, it's like if they're willing to sit at the table with me, then I can be like, here's the amount of input I want you to have.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like a me game or a do game or whatever we're going to use is like, that's where that really needs to lie. But some people, I don't even know if they need that much.
Yeah, I feel like the only people who really need that stuff are like retailers who need to know how to classify it so people know where to find it. And then new people to the hobby. Like and those are two very different things too, because the retailer wants you to be like, oh, story games. I know what that is. I'm going to go buy a thing. Story games are over there, point aisle 4 or whatever it is. And then like new people, because I feel like when I'm actually discussing games with other people who know what I'm talking about, I like, oh, it's like Dracula, except you're playing like, you know, and then I reference, like we were talking about again, like
you're James
a different
Bond's
game.
fighting Dracula.
Yeah.
That is what that is. It's
and the
Jason Bourne
mechanics
v.
are
Dracula.
like Savage Worlds, or they're PBTA, or oh, it's sort of close to the Genesis system. So like when you're talking about other people in the know, like we always reference the thing that we know is similar to it. It's like, oh, a lemon is just like an orange except sour, and you don't want to eat it. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. To me, a lot of times these labels don't end up really being used that often outside of like advertising and like the retail space, and then new people. I don't know. What do you think, Rose?
It's tricky trying to describe things to, especially the particulars of flavor and mechanical style to new people. It's kind of is it closer to our board game or is it closer to playing pretend?
That's actually a really good way to say it too.
And D&D has a lot of mechanics for the board game and no mechanics for playing pretend. Like not no, but itty bitty. Like
this is why I don't call it a role-playing game and people get mad at me.
That does sound like you just want to fight people.
I do also just want to fight people. I'm going to be a great therapist. Also,
true.
Mike, I am the crazy person who likes that much homework. So, yes, Dracula Dossier is a lot. Sorry to interrupt you, Rose.
No, you're good. Generally, I don't explain mechanics to new people, like, as a way to pitch the game. Like,
oh, yeah, don't do that.
Yeah. So, like, I'll say, how easy is it to learn? And kind of pitch it that way. And I describe what the fun of the system is. So, like, I know people I could probably get to play Lancer, and Lancer is a very complicated, very crunchy game. But I would say it's a very fun, mechanically complex game about giant robots. Do you want to play Lancer, Claire?
Run Lancer for me.
I gotta learn how to play Lancer.
I'm so bad at giant robot game. I'm very bad at giant robot game.
If you want, there's so many other giant robot games.
Sorry.
Fine. Coming back to roost. Coming back to roost.
We're back. We're here.
We're here. We are present. Our minds are elsewhere. But yeah, I describe things more as like, I start with the theme of the game. So like teenage superheroes, or giant robots in tactical combat, what have you. And then honestly, if they're new to the hobby, people don't need to know what a story game is, or what a traditional game is, or what a like. I would say, don't throw the person who's never played a role playing game into GURPS, maybe, just because that's difficult. Uh, I'm
I mean, even
sorry.
that.
No,
But
I feel
even
like-
then, there are
yeah.
people who got their start in GURPS.
Yeah.
I got my start in 4th edition D&D. 4th edition D&D was trying to get a lot of new people in, but good lord, is that a complicated, ridiculously complicated game.
I love
Like,
her.
All right.
there's
I feel like
so
we're getting.
much. Yeah.
I'm steering us back.
Sorry.
Come back,
Okay.
pigeons. Come back.
So defining games, I would say I love the meal analogy of who does most of the cooking and who provides most of the ingredients. And then you could use like the axis of like flavor. Is this like, is this a savory game, a very crunchy savory game, or is this a soft, like, is this a very rules light, pastry of a game? Is it a thin flaky crust? Is it a croissant? Uh,
I need you to pick a game and then try to describe it in our new description system.
yeah. So Lancer is a combination of it's like the players get to bring some of the ingredients, but they don't really do any of the cooking. And then the flavor is a very hearty, savory flavor. So it is a hefty, dense, complicated system. So very, very, so think of it like it'd be like a pot roast.
My favorite goulash. I don't remember what goulash is.
I love the food talk. I feel like we're getting like too into the metaphor now, though.
Yeah.
I feel like we need to
I
be
think
like.
it works. I think it works.
It's like
Yeah, I
Mass-
scan-
space.
scans.
Yeah, but it's like space romance, but it's a potluck where everybody brings their own thing. I feel like
Yeah.
that's like the perfect level of.
Yeah.
I'm like Night's Black Agents. It's like the meal that if we're gonna refer to like the storytelling as a meal, I'm like, Night's Black Agents, and along with most Gumshoe, everyone's in charge of their own aspect of the meal. So you're doing appetizer, you're doing dessert, you're doing this. That's about as much. You will have that much agency, but we have all picked a theme, and that theme is Jason Bourne
Yeah.
Mhm.
fighting Dracula.
Okay.
Nice.
All right. So for the last part of the like how story games. So how would you define like story games personally, like each of us? Because I think it's going to even be different in this room.
How did they define story game originally? Like,
It's one of those terms that has changed.
Yeah.
Like I don't think there was like people started using the term like it's never like TTRPG things like they're like vibes. Like they don't have like
AO3
Webster's
tags.
dictionary never put story game. I mean maybe it did, but I doubt it was the same as how we use it in the TTRPG scene.
This is why we need AO3 tags. Everything is solved by AO3 tags and your Omegaverse game.
Yeah.
I'm not adding that to my list of games.
For
I'm gonna
me,
write.
like when I think story game, I think of games where it's like A Quiet Year. I wouldn't really, unless you're playing Decima as like a standalone game. I don't really consider it because it's more of like a creation setting game, or like games where you might role play a little bit, but that's not the main point. The main point is to create like a linear story, and a lot of time it is from like the third person perspective, where instead of being the character, you're talking about the characters, you're talking about the world, you're creating elements of it, and maybe you don't even create like a whole story with it, but it's putting together the pieces like a puzzle, not being the puzzle, I guess.
So it's more about assembling a story rather than playing out a story.
Exactly. That's how I kind of think of story games. Yeah, and that may not be correct, but that's kind of what I think of. Like For the Queen, Companion's Tale kind of fits in that.
Okay. I suppose that's a much smaller and narrower definition of story game than I really have been familiar with. Because, like, I don't know. I feel like even PBTA has kind of gotten lumped into story game. as a classification, which I'm like, those are two very different animals. And so I don't know, like am I the only person on the show who's heard PBTA be lumped in there?
If
No,
I did, I thought they were wrong.
Okay.
I got where they were coming from, but I thought they were wrong.
Yeah, more and more it's kind of spread out. Like, if we're gonna continue with food metaphors, like baked cheese, like it just keeps spreading. And like I now I hear people refer to it a lot. Like anything that's a narrative, a more narrative system that is more story focused, people are calling story games. But that's not how I originally heard the term. It was for those smaller games that very specifically often didn't include role playing.
This may be me like climbing down from like the ivory tower I live on of games, but it's like when I hear people say story game, it's almost like when someone says food is spicy and I have to be like, hey, I need to know what you think spicy means before you tell me what spicy is.
Yes.
Like if we're eating this, if you think Taco Bell is spicy, I don't think you know what that means. And so like so I've had people be like, oh yeah, PBT is like a story game. I'm like, because you only roll 2 dice? Like, why? Tell me why you think it's a story game. So, like, because I kind of subscribe more to what Kimmy's saying, but to have that definition, you have to already have played so many games that you've had that, like, because, like, a story game would be, like, Good Society, which is, oh my god, I'm trying to remember the word for what Dracula is. This is my Dracula episode. Apocryphal? No.
No, epistemological.
That. That word. Like epistolary story. Oh my god. Good Society.
We got
is an epistolary game. Yeah.
We got him.
Oh.
We got him.
Good Society is an epistolary game because you spend that time writing letters to each other. A thing that if you only had ever played D&D, you'd be like, when do I fight you? And I'm like, nah, man, you got to write a letter about it.
Mm-hmm.
We're never having a scene together. You just got to write a letter about it. It's very passive aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
It's very British. So if you were to say like, oh, what's a story game? I'd be like, are you familiar with the concept?
Epistolary
Of
games.
epistolary
And they're like,
games.
no.
And they're like,
What does that mean?
yeah, I like your magic word. I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Yes.
Like, so yeah, like if someone comes to me and they're like, oh, it's a story game, I'm like, you gotta be more specific because I think I'm gonna start thinking that you think Taco Bell is spicy.
Right. And it has, like, I feel like everything else, like, it all kind of spreads out. And I don't know, I feel, again, like, because people, as they develop games, they start lumping them in with the things that inspired them, whether they match or not. I think sometimes that's part of the creep of definitions, which I actually kind of love, because I think we get a lot of really cool games with people designing for one kind of like category of game and then like swerving because they need a mechanic to do something else, and then we get these amazing mashups. And some of my favorite games don't fall in any category, and I don't know. So that's kind of my thought about it. I feel a lot of there's also kind of like the purity test factor of it that happens with a lot of different games. Like, oh well, I only design story games and I design this. And you're like, okay, cool. Great. That's awesome. And it's fine. Like, but I don't know. I think too many people also then use those categories. I don't know. It's like, oh, if you design something else, you're not really an indie designer. It's like, you can design anything and be an indie. I don't know. There's just,
Yeah. Sorry, it's just
Considering the amount of
I'm a
people
little
who
bitter.
can
Can
actually
you
make
hear
a
it?
living off of designing games, almost every designer in the world is an indie designer.
yeah.
Like,
Are you a professional game designer? Oh,
yeah. The number of people who have come up to
is
me
that
and
your
been
only job?
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations, you're no longer indie.
you're like, I'm also a mother. It's like, well, fuck you. Kimmy gets to use that.
Yeah, but
I
Kimmy
mean-
has 6 jobs.
I know. Kimmy also has 40 pigeons that she keeps
I
running
do.
herd.
All in one box.
All in
somehow.
one box, which is crazy.
But I'm serious. Like, and I might just be like sensitive to it because I have a lot of people who, like people say they don't mean to be mean, but they say mean things sometimes when you make games.
Oh my god.
And like I've had people like say things that I don't think they meant it offensive about like Decima. Like Decima's not a story game. It's a tool. It's not even a game. And like things like that. And you're like, well, you can play it as a game. Well, it's not meant for that, so you can't actually call it a game if you didn't design it with that intent. Like someone
It's
actually had like this
Only a game if it comes from the Game region of France.
Region-
Otherwise,
That's true,
it's
actually.
sparkling cards. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Sparkling card. It's sparkling tarot.
Yeah, and then on the other side now,
Sparkling Tarot is actually my next game.
That's Decima
I
though.
love that.
Oh
not,
no!
Not I want when Decima gets old enough, we do an anniversary edition where it's glittery.
Yeah.
Because you know
Ooh.
that Samantha would do that with us.
100% Sam would do that. And yeah, I mean, and it's interesting too, because like people who really like Decima, a lot of them were kind of rude about Starscape. Like, oh, you're doing like a mainstream thing. Like, I felt like a band. Like I couldn't win. Like,
I knew Kimmy when she was still doing I knew Kimmy when she was a wife.
So
well, I am a wife in your
Yeah.
band, the very
No,
wife
yeah.
of Whitney. Let's clarify.
I am
No
going
divorces
to
are
build
happening.
an exosuit to multiply human strength by tenfold at least, just to pull all of these people's heads out of their asses.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Like,
Yeah.
like, literally, if it's not a D20 system, like, it's indie. It's not mainstream. It's like
They think
saying,
mayo's spicy.
Yes. This is the person who went, I'm sorry, this peanut butter, a little too much zest. You know, it's
Yeah.
like this PB&J
so
give me
sorry.
heartburn. Like, okay,
Okay, friend. I can see
good-
you've
good
never
for
picked
you.
up a.
I usually just make my enchiladas with ketchup, it seems.
I just took actual.
Kimmy, that
psychic
is the most
damage.
vile thing you've ever said in my presence.
Kimmy, you have to put a trigger
And
warning
I,
on this
like-
episode now.
I'm
sorry.
not going to say to X-card it because I don't want to make fun of using safety tools, but that is one of the most atrocious things you've said to me.
Yeah.
Which
And
is
we
crazy
played
'cause
Alice
it's-
is Missing together.
I know. Sorry. All right, we're still on the first email, guys.
Oh my god.
Okay, come on.
Listen, it's good discussion to have
It
because
is.
so much of what we do is being an ambassador for our hobby.
Mm.
Look, I brought it back and I sound intelligent. Crazy if you're just tuning in. But like I understand. It's really the thing I'm struggling with now is the like pretension of it all. Wow. I'm so sorry. I'm a pretentious asshole, so I can speak for my people, which is that like I'm getting a master's degree. But like it's the like pretension of it where it's like, oh, you only make these your silly little card game or whatever and I am sometimes in the camp of like there's a game for everything, a game system for everything you want to do, so don't try to pull in mechanics that aren't from this game. She says, looking directly at camera to Blades in the Dark. But like it's this like but like I get it. I get when it needs to happen and what it shouldn't like and mechanics I think are a little bit different than like fully classifying something as a story game. I just feel like story game is so broad and so like nebulous that you're never going to get a good definition from it at all. And we really just got to start like everyone needs to make TTRPGs so mainstream that I don't have to explain it to people anymore is really where I'm at. This is for me personally and no one else. No one else will benefit from this but me, Clara Allison right here on Happy
You know what
Jacks.
we'll do? We'll create like TTRPG houses. Like
Let's
and
do
then each
that.
have their own symbol and it'll be like I don't know, Game of Thrones where there's like the flower people and the lion or the stag or I haven't watched
I will
Game of Thrones in a long
fully
time.
assassinate everyone else from House Mechanics. Look at me, everyone who's ever GM'd for me. I'm coming for you. I have to clip that now and put it on and send it to so many people.
So good.
Aaron, this is calling you out personally.
Yeah. House mechanics. Okay. All right. Now we have to put in some thought. And I feel like we should like petition like our audience for like, okay, what if you created the houses of TTRPG, what would the houses be? Not you.
Not me. No.
Not you.
Can I make one nomination?
Yeah. I think
Is
house
there a-
mechanics is a
House mechanics feels correct. See, that is truly in the spirit of this.
Yeah.
In this now Game of Thrones world in which we are all in houses that are like
trying
have
to
their
kill each other.
specialty and we're all trying to kill each other because that's how games work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I am always the rogue with Joey as my trusty bard. Is there a place for goblins?
Yeah, but I feel like both of you would be in like house fabulous clothes, but like stab you in the back.
We
Like,
are
I don't-
House LARP.
Yeah. House Lark.
Adam is
Yeah.
the leader of House 8-Pack.
That's true. Adam is Sir 8-Pack. Is SER. I have to do gender neutral, sir.
Yeah.
SYR.
Yeah.
SYR 8-Pack.
There you go. I feel like that's like house backstory.
Oh, hefty backstory.
Yeah, house hefty backstory.
It's like a sub house of like big narrative.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's fascinating. Oh
Oh,
my
no.
gosh. This is the thing.
House
Okay.
of pancakes. No, that's
All right. Mailbag number 2, quick, before we move on.
correct.
Go, Clara.
Hello, Kimmy and the defenders of the safety tools. Oh, I like that. I'm a pigeon defender. Also, House of Waffles Fist. I'm so sorry. I have to make my 1/7 I will fight John Wick in a Waffle House parking lot, but that's not true because Waffle House is scary. This is Arrya from New Jersey on the Discord, writing in again about my Doctor Who RPG game about a mistake that I made in a recent session. For context, this is the first time my players and I are using any sort of safety tools in our games, and so we are still very much newbies to it all. I don't want to go into the specific details about what the mistake was, but the Cliff's Notes is that I took the wrong cues from my players and escalated a scene beyond the comfort level of everyone at the table. I don't believe that I strictly crossed any lines we established, but I saw the discomfort and didn't respond appropriately. I tried to on the fly change the scene to make things better, but I do not believe that it was successful. However, the story has a happy ending. After discussing things with my spouse and co-GM, I started the next session with an official retcon of all the discomfort caused by my roleplay and a reminder to everyone about the X card and when and how to use it. And then we went on to have the best session of our campaign with lots of fun times without the stress of the previous session. So I just want to tell any of the GMs who are starting to use safety tools, it's okay to make mistakes just as long as you use that as a learning opportunity and a chance to do better in the future. And do not be afraid to rewind or rewrite a scene if it'll help the enjoyment of everyone. Arrya from New Jersey. P.S. Has there ever been a time when you felt the need to retcon a scene for any reason, and after it has been played out, either immediately or in a subsequent session? Oh, Arrya. I really hope that's how it's pronounced. Oh, Arrya. I have such bad dice luck. The very first time I ever played Vampire the Masquerade was in the All Night Society podcast, and I had a failure spiral so bad we had to restart the game.
Ooh.
I could not get through a door, you see.
Oh. Oh no.
I made the mistake
Doors
of
are the
asking.
natural enemy of all RPG characters.
100%.
I get stuck in bathrooms a lot in real life, so I just,
Pigeon.
I'm so good at so many things, and opening locked doors from the inside is certainly not one of them.
Okay.
You know when you rogue too hard?
Weren't you just saying you're a rogue and you can't get through?
That's different when the lock is on the inside.
Yeah. No, she's great at picking locks, not operating fully available locking mechanisms from the proper direction.
I'm not used to them cooperating, you see.
She only knows how to hotwire cars. She doesn't know how to use an ignition.
Rose gets me.
Okay. All right. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I knew tonight was going to be a little chaotic. I should have prepared a little more.
You should have texted me and been like, take your ADHD meds. And I would be like,
Not my job.
yeah,
Not my job.
I planned on it. And
I have to have
forgot.
some boundaries about what I do for all you.
That's
Okay,
so
I love
valid.
you all. But
Yeah.
I planned on doing so, and then I forgot to do it because I have the.
I
Anyway,
feel like we need to set a timer for everything.
I gotta. I'm so good at ignoring
Goodness.
timers.
Yeah.
Bad at doors, good at
Um,
ignoring timers.
All right.
To answer Arya's question, yeah, I've had to retcon a couple of different things in games. Nothing in particular I want to get into. But yeah, rewind and script change are really, really fantastic safety tools to use, and
Mhm.
I recommend everybody at least is familiar with them. Um, Props for recognizing that. And um also, like, if you find yourself starting to skid in a car, to use that metaphor, if you're playing a role-playing game, you can immediately teleport yourself out of the car at any time and just talk to people above board. So if you realize, like, oh, things are getting a little bit weird, or people seem uncomfortable, you can just pause role play and just be like, "Hey, quick check in. How are we doing?" And I've had to do the reverse. I've had to do a quick check in of, "Hey, everybody, we're playing masks, and you all keep repeatedly, like, in player order, threatening the same NPC over and over again, who's another child. Stop. Get help." Not
Get some
not
help.
literally, but yeah, yeah, but that's kind of, we're starting to break tone. Let's try and get back on target. And I've had to, like, realize, like, oh yeah, no, we went a little bit too intense on that scene. Let's kind of tone it down.
Mhm.
Um, from the GM side as well. That's
Absolutely.
that's really fantastic. What's the word? Kind of situational awareness as a GM, to pick that up and kind of immediately go, oh yeah, no, something's not right here. We got to do something different. And I would say, it wasn't mentioned in the email, but I assume you did, which is just, like, check with the players as well to make sure that they're interpreting the thing you saw as an issue. I've definitely had the moment where I'm like, oh no, I've done something terribly wrong, and everyone else was like, no, we're fine. We can keep rolling. And it's like, oh, okay. I was worried I had crossed a boundary, when everyone else is like, no, 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 this is still fantastic. Let's keep moving forward.
Yeah. I've done this so often. Sometimes it's for safety reasons, but a lot of times it's also when someone at the table misremembers something.
Oh yeah.
I've sometimes, as a GM and as a player, like, we've gone into a scene and some of us remember something one way and some people remember something a different way, and it makes our actions very discordant. And suddenly it's like, okay, I just want to clarify, like, what do you all think is the X, what's happening? And then people are like, oh, this. And someone's like, no, no, this is what happened. And it's like, oh, okay. Well, let's rewind to the beginning of the scene. Let's start again with this shared understanding and this clarification. And sometimes that doesn't isn't necessary. Sometimes they go, oh, no, no. Okay, we'll switch to this. No problem. Keep going. But especially if you're doing something like, I've had this happen in combats where it's actually a very low role playing situation. But especially when you're doing theater of the mind, if people are picturing things in a very different way, it can completely screw up, like, how players fight in a combat. Um, and then, yeah, obviously, and I've done this too, actually, where I've gone home, or we've ended a session and all left, and then, like, you're kind of percolating in that downtime between sessions, and you suddenly start thinking about it, and you're like, I'm really bothered by either a choice I made for myself or my character, or something that somebody else did, and like, and like, I've started, like, when we come back sessions, being like, hey, I'm really uncomfortable with what happened. Can we change it or tweak it or redo it somehow? Because there's times too where that just takes time, that realization that, hey, like, and it might not have been something that was necessarily like an X card worthy thing. It might have just been something that you're like, I really feel like my character would have reacted a different way. Because you have like kind of your intended path for them. And then you're like, oh, this cool moment's there that sends them somewhere else. And you're like, oh, maybe I was too strict about staying to what I had thought of rather than being flexible and changing. I've had that happen a couple times. And I always like when I'm more flexible and I go a new way because it always makes for a more interesting story in the long run. So there's a ton of situations where I've done something very similar to this.
I think there's. Oh, sorry, Rose.
I was just gonna say that's why having a breadth of safety tools and kind of like not even just safety tools, but game tools and narrative tools at your disposal is so important. Not everything is something that needs to be X-carded, but small things that can improve the quality of your game and the enjoyment of everyone at the table, like a script change, like a rewind, can be really phenomenal. There are small quality of life things that used over the course of a campaign make sure that everybody's enjoying themselves.
Yeah. And script change, also sometimes like the consent flower, those are two tools that are kind of overlap. They just have different
What's
names.
The consent flower.
That's the one. It's basically like very similar to the script change. It's like the red, the yellow, the green. Some people, it's like stoplight colors. Green means keep going.
Okay.
So, originally they were like petal shaped, and people like so
okay,
it was
okay,
like
okay, I'm
and,
back.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
there's script change. Some people do like the rewind. Some people have a pause and a fast forward and a play. Like there's a whole bunch of different ones. If you go searching online, there's a lot of different takes on different ones. They all function very similarly by saying, okay, we're at exactly the right pace right now. Like, I like how hard we're going in this scene, or no, let's slow down, or even go back and like rewind and redo this scene. I don't like how this is gone. I want to do it again. And then there's some that like the green or fast forward. I mean, like go harder. Like, I like this. I'm cool. Let's go harder on this. So you can actually in real time, like be touching it and communicating while you're role playing.
That hold on. I'm trying oh god. Everyone who's like, oh, Claire's on this episode, take a drink. The LARP I just went to has Rose is drinking. Has safety tools I actually want to throw into my games. But like because we talk about because I don't find as necessary to keep pressing the let's keep going button. I'm like, I'm going to keep going until you tell me to stop, kind of. And I think a lot of resistance I find people having to safety tools is that like people not wanting to have to think too hard about the stuff they've been doing forever, which is totally fine. In a like, maybe you should sit with why you have resistance to it, but like just agree to use the safety tools and move on. It's not going to hurt you. But like I get but then I was like, oh, I don't like the idea of having to keep press the like go button. Just assume I'm going to tell you when I can stop, but some people are scared of that. The LARP I just went to has a new mechanic that's new to me, and it's the phrase, "What would your mother say?" And it is in reaction to people getting like a little too like sexually spicy. Like you, there's ways to like say like they have these like phrases that are like prepare for action, which is like we'll be having a scene and I'll be like prepare for action because you've insulted me, and the next thing you like if you're going to do that, it's going to be we are going to come to blows now. We are going to have PvP, and if you're ready for it, by all means keep going. Yeah. If you're not ready for it, consider pivoting the conversation we're having. And then what would your mother say is fully that. It's like, it's crazy you said that phrase to me. I know out of character we're friends. In character you have said something absolutely out of pocket. And like I like having those sort of safety tool ideas because I've had moments like because we talk about using the X card for tone. And I love using the X card for tone. I just always wish that it was like a little more, if those guiding tools were a little more like currents rather than bumpers. God, very metaphorical tonight. Because like I don't like the other thing from the LARP check-ins I like is like having these scenes you can physically make an okay symbol with your hand. I'm so sorry for Smirnoff icing everyone. But like or whatever this is. But you can make an okay symbol or you can do a thumbs up as you're talking so you never break the moment while you're still doing the thing. And I think that we could fully be employing those sort of more physical ones at the table if that's necessary or just like doing the like instead of having to say like to stop the moment to say like are we good?
Yeah.
To be able to just passively check in as you're moving.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what the consent flower and all of those are kind of doing. Instead of having to stop, if you like kind of look at them and you're like doing like, oh, we're doing a spicy scene together, and you're like, oh, I start to unbutton your top, and then if you hit,
Kimmy and I try to flirt with each other.
And then. And then if you are like, okay, you hit the whichever one it is, like the fast forward or the green, then that means like, okay, go more.
We're good, keep going.
Yeah, and you don't. So it's kind of nice. It's at like anything, like you need to clarify because these tools have been around long enough that their meanings have kind of drifted. Like our whole last conversation, like when you sit down at the table, like clarify, okay, at our table, these cards or these colors or these symbols or whatever, mean these things. And I highly suggest like some people do have symbols as well as colors because that's just it's hard for people who have difficulty seeing color to like differentiate sometimes, especially with the reds and the stuff like that. But a lot of people also use the minus, equal, and plus signs.
Yeah. All safety tools fail if no one knows what they do.
Yeah.
Like oh boy. If your session 0 does not include how your safety tools function, I know it's a frustrating conversation to have. I know it's annoying to have to assess every single time you have a session 0 that everyone knows how to use their safety tools. I have been in situations where not everyone agreed on what those safety tools meant, and it has been dangerous is such the wrong word. It has been upsetting for people, and like the last thing we want to do at any table is upset our friends.
Yeah. Story games. Come on, if we can't even agree what that means.
Yeah. If I'm having this entire conversation standing on the desk, if you're only listening to this podcast, I'm standing on the desk right now. If I get this heated about the definition of story game, imagine how I'm gonna get if you're putting my players' mental health at risk.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
yeah.
All right. Mailbag number 3 from the archive 2021. Hello, Jackettes, Jackers, and whatever you call Tappy. For those of you who
They're
are
not
new to the
appearing in
podcast,
this film.
Tappy was a while ago.
I love Taffy.
Yeah, I know. It is I, Eric from New Jersey, who writes in way too much to you. I believe at this point I am in need of an intervention. My apologies. First, I wanted you to know I took your suggestions to heart and I'm trying to find adults who have disabilities to game with. My own annoying medical issues have caused us to be delayed a bit, but you're right that once people are adults, they tend to be forgotten, and I don't think that's right. So just a little caveat. This is like a reply to a reply that we had on the show, and Eric was writing in for suggestions of places he could volunteer to run games for children who were with disabilities or were in the hospital and things like that. And our suggestion was, hey, there's a lot of organizations out there that do that. Maybe try and find some adults because often they are overlooked when it comes to volunteering and having, fun in their lives because, nobody sends them like comic books or, I mean, maybe they do. I don't know.
Well, no, that's not true anymore. I was like, I gave all my physical like books a long time ago to the local prison system.
Oh,
but then I had mentioned that to Stu that I had given them D&D 4E and he was like, actually, you shouldn't have done that. I was like, no, you're right. But no, that is true though. Like a lot of people who are legal adults don't get a lot of like good services because we have this concept in America that if you're on disability or if you're any sort of not doing awesome cis white man, you should be suffering. And therefore, if you have any joy, that's bad. Actually, you don't deserve the
How dare you have a cell phone? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've actually had a couple people buy Decima from prison, which is a fascinating experience.
Listen, I have to get a PhD if I want to like do D&D in prison. If I want to do like forensic psychology stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
They have to buy it. They check it off as religion because they're not supposed to buy things with cards because And I had to
Gambling?
have someone explain this to me because I was asking about it because it's like it's so strange they all check religion instead of like there's other categories because they have to put in
Mhm.
like an order form and then the prison system sends me a check. So I don't get a check from them. They use their money from at like the commissary to order it from the website and then the prison system sends me like a paper check, which most of them I've saved so far because they're just so interesting.
I love that.
Yeah, so I have one from like Nebraska, from like the prison system in Nebraska, and all of these. But then they all were checking religion, and I was asking a friend about it who's involved, kind of in advocating in that world, and she was telling me, oh, they aren't allowed to have card things unless it's religious because gambling is such a problem in prisons.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, so I guess there hopefully, I mean that's very cool. Like they're getting some joy out of like building worlds together and pretending it's a religion.
Good for them.
I know, it's amazing.
Tarot cards could be religious. Tarot is like and they are functioning tarot cards
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
This is the section of the show where we
No, we don't have to do that. But
yeah.
I was just like because it's an interesting,
Yeah.
like kind of like what they have to do to get things like games or like because of that they were saying too like. My friend does advocacy around TTRPGs in prisons, and she says it's really hard for them to do even like sometimes basic games because dice are also something that's really hard for them to get permission. So they have a big need for games that don't require like some prisons are very strict about randomizers. So it's really hard and really interesting to think about that.
They all need story games.
Yeah, strict that don't have cards. Like yeah, it's very interesting. But there is a big kind of like audience for that in prisons.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to the actual email. Sorry, now I'm being the pigeon.
No,
Both of you put me in the box.
I'm so sorry. The box is so crowded.
No, I'm sorry. Second, I'm having another issue that is not medical, where I want you to that I want you to humor me with. I ran 2 campaigns right now. One is an old D&D 3.5 campaign. They are playing through the remastered version of the original Ravenloft module, and it seems a group I am the only person to remember the original first edition module, and I could run that in my sleep. The other campaign I've been running has gone through some changes. Originally, we started Legend of the Five Rings, but I had such problems conveying the nature of that campaign to the player group, I ended up writing into you about how I was running D&D with samurai. I eventually folded that campaign, never to run Legend of the Five Rings again. Next was Masks, which went pretty well. One hero was a clockwork computer that displays on a mirror. That's very cool. The computer is actually run by an alcoholic gnome named Larry. Larry and his fellow gnomes are under the dashboard, so to speak. That ran for about... Weren't you like House Gremlin?
Yeah.
There
No,
we go.
we're here. House Goblin. Let's go.
Yeah.
I feel like House Goblin and House Drunken Gnomes are close friends.
They're
Yes,
actually just guilds within our world.
Got it.
We're gonna Decima this.
Yeah. Larry and his fellow gnomes were under the dashboard, so to speak. That ran for about the length I wanted it to before it was time to move on to something else. Hell, I ran one PBTA game, so why not another? Because after Jib's Mask game, my favorite AP was Adam's Monster of the Week. The latter seems like a natural choice. The problem I'm encountering is that much like Legend of the Five Rings, I don't seem to be comprehending the system completely. People have been been helping out on the forums. Oh, this is an older email, including Adam, but I feel absolutely embarrassed even asking for help. So I should be getting this, shouldn't I? My question for you is simple. Have you ever had a systems that are good systems, but you just have had trouble comprehending them? If so, do you give up, or what do you do to help yourself comprehend the system? That's pretty much it. Anyway, stay drunk, stay diverse, and may the dice always roll in your favor. I think you are a good influence on the gaming community, and always try to recommend my friends to you. Cheers, Eric from New Jersey. P.S. Beer recommendation. Innis and Gun, which is a craft beer brewed out of Scotland, I believe. It is amazing. They've had beers aged in bourbon barrels that are delicious. Highly recommended. I've been drinking them for years, since the first encountering them in New York City. How do you learn a system that is hard to learn?
I'm just like, they said nice things about him.
House mechanics. Yeah.
House mechanics. Is there a representative from House Mechanics here?
No. I think we definitely have representatives who have trouble comprehending house mechanics.
Oh, 1,000%. Their ways are mysterious to many of us.
Oh, absolutely.
The most ancient of houses, though. It's so bad. So stupid.
So I have a really hard time understanding mechanics of a game if I haven't played it.
Same.
The most famous example of this is my One Ring campaign, where I read the One Ring book, and I was so convinced that I didn't want to do the mechanics as written that literally if you listen to the character generation session, I'm like, we're not using the combat rules. I'm using these other rules that I found online somewhere else that seem like better rules. And then like in the week, or maybe it was 2 weeks, between the character generation session 0 and then episode 1 of that AP, like I was like, I think it was Dave and then my husband. I was like, okay, we're going to do a fake, like, we're going to just do combat. And I'm going to see which one of these sets of rules I liked. And I ended up being fine with the rules as written. We ended up using those for the whole campaign because my brain just like contorted what was written down into something that was much more difficult than it actually was.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my first go-to, especially after that specific experience. I try and run things so that I can learn by doing, because that's something I need to do.
I have to do that as well. I am often employed by House Mechanics as a infiltration specialist.
Yes. Okay.
In that, like, I always think the problem is I think I've learned the game and then I've learned it wrong or I've misinterpreted something because the point I know I've done wrong is I think I found an exploit. I've never found an exploit. I think I have. But yeah, I have to build a session 0.
Yeah.
Like a session 0 for Clara's.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rose, interrupted you.
No, you're good. I was actually going to say, Kimmy, I was one of the people you play tested One Ring combat with.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you're like, hey, it's like 10 o'clock at night. Can you hop on a call and help me test this? I was like, sure, I've never played One Ring either.
I know, and that was what I needed. I needed people who like had not ever played it. And yeah, oh my gosh.
What's a hobbit?
No. I mean, like, that part I had down.
Don't besmirch my name, Clara. I know my Tolkien.
Yeah.
I went to Bible school.
Oof.
Oh no, our cleric is here.
Yeah. I also find I do it less now, but I usually for One Ring I did it, and then when I GM games, I usually write down. I have like a color-coded little notebook. They're usually small notebooks that I have like, okay, usually I have the same little like tabs I've been using since the dawn of time because I only use like 9 or 10 of them a year, and they came in a pack of like 300. But like there's like the pink tab, the orange tab, and the yellow tab, and the green tab. And each one is a different thing. So like the pink tab, because it's the closest to red, is like the combat rules that I forget the most. And it's like a color-coded thing. So it's like, and then like, so each tab is a type of mechanic that I sometimes struggle to remember. So I know when I go, oh, okay, we're starting combat, flip to the pink tab. And it's not all the rules, and it's usually just the ones that, and I add to it. Like if we're running combat and there's something I've forgotten, I will add it to that little page. And I never let it be more than 1 page long.
Ooh.
It's literally like just the front side of that page. So I flip to that with that little tabby thing. It's like those little Post-it note tab things. And then I switch to the front and it's there. And if I run out of room on that page, I write it very small on the edge of the page. And if I run out of that space, then I just need to learn it.
I was gonna say the second thing I do to learn mechanics is I make a little handout.
Yeah.
I copy pasta little handouts for myself. Limiting it to 1 page would be useful probably.
Especially little pages. I mean, I can write really small.
Index
so
cards.
Yeah.
Yeah. You did give me a little side thought of what color is combat? When you gotta have your folder for combat, what color you choose? And you're like, red, apparently.
Yeah.
And my brain went, no, yeah, you're right. Combat is red.
Mm-hmm.
In the same way that crafting is green, I don't make the rules.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Or yellow.
Mhm.
Religion is blue.
No, green. It's green.
Wait, what is?
Crafting is green. I agree.
Crafting is green, correct.
Yeah.
Because making a hand, it's that thing of like the best way to learn a thing is to teach someone else. The best way to discover you don't know something is to teach someone else.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
So funnily enough, Eric and I both have the fact that we bounced off of Monster of the Week pretty hard in common. Not because I dislike it, it's because the countdown clock that you're supposed to do for your monsters is the exact inverse of how my brain works. I do not come up with this happens, then this happens, then this happens. Like I don't do sequential things as a GM going on in the background, because for me as a GM, the only thing that exists is what's in front of the players, except for like a couple narrative things. Like it is when the players are not looking, none of that needs to exist. I don't need to expend any thought on it. That is all processing power I can use for other things. What I operate off of instead of the if this, then that kind of thing that Monster of the Week has with their countdown to midnight, which is a neat thing. It isn't how I work. But how I work is I go off of what is happening in the moment and how does that fit in narratively, and how does that fit the pacing of the moment. I can't build that pacing and the plotting behind that beforehand.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've honestly always struggled with countdown clocks. I dislike them. I think partially because they're round, and I'm like, they just seem like
going.
No, they just seem like such a waste on a character sheet every single time I've looked at them, or GM notes. I'm like, this could be a little series of checkboxes in a much smaller, more efficient fashion. And I don't know, it took me a really long time to just kind of grok that they were exactly the same as checkboxes and just round. They're fancy.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's just always been like a little bit like a little extra for me. Maybe I'm just too simple of a girl for that.
I mean, like, again, I hate Fortune in the Dark games. I don't hate them. I
dislike.
I strongly dislike them because they took a regular good old PBTA and gave it anxiety, and the clocks are part of it for me. And I understand. I'm speaking from the ivory tower that is Happy Jacks, that really raised me away from D&D. In that, like, I'm sitting here like, of course there are consequences for you ignoring the problem. Why do I need a clock to tell me that? And then I was like, oh no, some people need clocks.
Yeah.
Or
but they don't need to be round.
Or
That's just hard to design for. And I think I might feel more like strongly about it now that I lay out games sometimes, because I'm just like, that's a lot of space on a sheet is a round thing.
What if I made you a little hangman? And every time the players ignored the plot to do their own thing.
Oh no, I'm a teacher. I'm not allowed to play that game anymore.
Oh, well, never mind.
Definitely not allowed to play that game.
Because, like, I understand what the clocks are supposed to do. They're supposed to track consequences for ignoring the plot.
Absolutely.
Which I understand is fine. But my problem is that they become mechanical in Fortune in the Dark games.
Yeah.
And, like, they are more esoteric in PBTA. We've gotten so off topic.
For me, okay, like, I'm just going to go off on this a little bit because I've been thinking about it a lot. For me, it would make so much more sense, and maybe it's just my, my neurodiversity, but, like, I also have trouble, like, remembering to do them sometimes, or, like, hey, what does this mean? For me, it would make it a lot better if it was, like, a checkbox with a little blank box, and you wrote the things ahead of time. Like, these are the things that are going to happen.
You're supposed to.
I know, but, like, it's round and it's annoying, so I start ignoring it. But if it was just, like, a very clear, like, this, oh, okay, like a to-do list, then that would be what I needed in life, is, like, a clear to-do list from the least and to the most, and not round. I don't know why it being round annoys me.
It's so funny because, like, yeah, like, that's consequences. Like, I tend to not interact with that clock mechanic with the timer mechanic in Monster of the Week until, like, again, if my players are just faffing around, and then I have to like, God damn it, I have to like I have to shepherd you along. Or after the game, when I go like, okay, what have they been doing to further the story? What are my bad guys doing in the background? So I don't commit any brain to it in the present, unless they do something very specific to like jingle it. I will tell everyone forever I'm a Consequences GM who loves a little clock and the bad guys are moving in the background. But I'll admit secretly on the internet for everyone to hear, my bad guys don't move till you move. Like, not because I don't want to. It's because I don't know what y'all are doing, and it's not interesting if the players forget to follow like the 3 clues I put out and assumed were very big. It's not it's kind of shitty to the players that they have found their bliss having their romantic comedy, and I'm like, there's a werewolf trying to eat you, but yeah, keep making out, I guess, because I'm calling myself out if I do that. Like, let the players chase their bliss and hit them with a hammer when they are ready.
Yeah. Sorry, I went off.
No, you're good.
It's fine.
But yeah, I would never tell that to anyone else.
Your secret is safe with us.
Here on the internet.
Here.
Jesus. But I was like, what's the like other ways to like learn? Part of me is like, did you know you can get waterproof cases for your phone and or iPad or whatever and bring your PDFs into the shower with you? I am doing a lot of reading for school, and audiobooks are really good, but they don't make game mechanic audiobooks. But, you know, if I have to be in the shower...
They do if you get a screen reader.
I also have a screen reader.
I have been listening to just a computer voice of the Masks PDF, just reading through mechanics.
I also do that.
Because that's how I absorb things.
Yeah. It is... screen readers, we're talking about, like, disability or whatever, like... I love an audiobook because I can't... actually, fuck! A huge resource I've forgotten to mention. Actual plays. Find an actual play that's playing the game that you... Traveler has audiobooks for their... I'm so sorry, I got distracted by James.
Thank you, James, in the chat. Yes. There are actually a number... I know some indie games have started trying to do this more and more, but it's Traveler, Savage Worlds. I think that there was a D&D one, but I don't know if it was official. And I don't know which edition it was for, but like at one point someone I knew had someone reading the D&D. It could have just been a podcast. I don't know. But I feel like
that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that probably you'd get sued into oblivion if you made any money on it, but someone just like with a really nice voice reading game books could probably make a pretty good
hold on, I gotta reach out to some people.
Yeah. But
yeah, that's
Mm-hmm.
I think Speechify is an app that you can get that will just read aloud to you, and if you don't want to pay for it, you just have to listen to the robot voice. But like actual plays are such a good resource to just figure out like how a game mechanic works in practice. And like Mike brings up in chat, like don't pick one that's super produced. If you can, like, yes, there's an art to picking an actual play that is not glossing over the mechanics of it. I've been on several like narrativist actual plays. Ooh, I said that and I didn't like it coming out of my mouth. I've been on several actual plays where we
like
kind
audio
of
dramas.
audio dramas.
Yeah.
We gloss over the mechanics to make the thing happen. But like usually like Reddit will point you to some that it's like, I'm trying to learn Traveler. Can you show me an actual play that does anyone have recommendations on actual plays that really showcase how Traveler goes? And that's nice. That's useful.
Yeah.
And then you get to see the foibles in action.
Yeah. And it usually gives you a really good idea of the pacing that you can get from the game too, which I think is important going into GMing it. That's one of my favorite things, and things that you want to avoid. Like when I was going to run One Ring. I want to do like a runway game though, but One Ring. I watched a whole bunch of APs about it, and I saw right off the bat that a lot of them got very silly very fast. And part of that was because the first adventure that came with the box set was like hobbits, and that's a very silly thing. Like a lot of
Hobbits silly.
yeah, I mean, a lot of people kind of default to that. Like that you can do amazing moving stories with them, but hobbits like doing small hobbit things in the Shire for your first adventure got a little slapstick at times. So I immediately off the bat like knew I didn't want my game to go there. So I was like, okay, like I'm gonna put in like mechanics in place to prevent that. So that can also give you information not just on the mechanics of a game, but like give you a heads up for things that you want to avoid, that using safety tools and mechanics that just might happen. Yeah, cool.
I'm like, you're correct. I was gonna make such a mean joke, and I was like, don't say it, Clara. You're on national television.
You told us all your other secrets.
I know, which is like find an AP where no one's crying. Which is a weird thing to say, but I am also just calling myself out again because. Okay. Like in the thing, like if you've got it, like I do a lot. I play a lot of vampire. The vibe of people who are like if someone is crying in your AP, it means it's very high drama, very good character moments. They're not gonna get crunchy with combat. And then you're going to try to run vampire, and you're not going to know how to do combat because you realize you've only ever role-played in vampire.
But you'll be really good at making your players cry.
Yeah.
Really
Yes.
good at it.
Yeah.
No, like I feel like it depends on the GM on our channel.
Oh, that's
But-
also true.
Yes, like we cried in our vampire campaign a couple times, sometimes because of laughing and sometimes because of crying. But also Stu like ran pretty good combats a lot of
Yeah.
times. He is terrible at being adversaries, but he is good at like mechanics of combat. But he cannot do tactics. We would trounce things. He was terrible at tactics. Yeah, if he ever runs
Yeah.
a combat for you with more than one big monster, you will just decimate whatever it is, or he will overpower them and you will all die.
I will say, hear me out, and Stu will walk out of the studio. Actually, is what would happen.
that's exactly what will happen.
Yeah. No, I know. Listen. I know.
Dave right now is playing in a D&D game that Stu's running, and he's like, "Yeah, no, he tried to do a combat on us, and we just yeah." He's like, "Yeah."
My toxic trait. My toxic trait is I loved 4E, but very specifically I miss Warlords because all I want to do is play chess with
Yes.
everyone else's players.
Yes.
I want to
Warlords
tell
were
you
the
how to play
best.
your game. You're playing
Warlords are
wrong.
the in-character manifestation of, hey, you should move over there.
Yeah.
This
you're
is the
doing it
optimal move.
wrong.
You should do this.
Me sitting on the sideline just watching. Oh, you're gonna do that. Okay.
Clara,
that's like-
have you considered that you just want to play a Pokemon trainer?
I do. That's also not true. If I don't know how to run, if I don't know how to run someone else's, listen, D&D very specific. Listen, today at 1 p.m., my roommate needed to finish her D&D character, and I had gotten a little too. I had gotten a little too California inebriated, and was like. It turns out I can't build characters like this, so I had to call in a friend. She's like, "You do this. You do this a lot." I was like, "Not like this, I don't." But no, I get D&D has too many rules for me to mechanically for me to know how to exploit your character. Yeah, I'm not a freelance goblin.
All right, I think that's
Jesus,
way off topic enough.
that's so far off topic.
Thank you for hanging in there with us, friends. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us for season 36, episode 11 of the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. Please support our indie designer of the month, Ross Payton of Role Playing Public Radio. You can support him at patreon.com/rppr. Thank you to our chat mod, James V, and to our amazing Patreons who keep us ad-free and independent. It's because of you that we get to do shows like this where we talk about nonsense for a while. Have a great time, see each other, and also get to play a bunch of systems that we love and nobody pays us for. So, and we also get to have the air conditioning on, which is helpful. If you want to join their amazing ranks, you can go to happyjacks.org/Patreon. And yes, very soon, all the rewards will be available to all D4 and up tiers. My name is Kimmy, she, her. You can find me at Golden Lasso Girl on, mostly on Blue Sky. That's pretty much it right now for chatting with me. In Discord, I'm at Golden Lasso Girl on Discord too, if you want to Discord me. And you can find the games that I make at goldenlassogames.com. And Clara.
I'm Clara Allison. I'm all over the internet as clearly_golden, except for Blue Sky, where they won't let me put underscores. You can follow. I guess I'm trying to do this again. It's been a second because I'm doing school, which is hard. But I was gonna say you should follow me on Blue Sky or Instagram. I use my Instagram stories a lot, and if you're on Blue Sky, you'll see me passive aggressively talking about my thoughts on the intersection between psychology, improv, and role playing games, because that's what my world is like right now.
I love that for you.
Thank y'all.
And I am Rose of Rose RPGs. You can find me at card.co. I think it's roserpgs.card.co or something like that. I haven't updated that in like 2 years. But you can also find me right here on the Happy Jacks RPG podcast. You can hopefully see me soon in an actual play. I will leave the rest mysterious. Yeah.
Is it Lancer?
Yeah. God, no. You think I have the brain capacity for Lancer in this day and age?
I love and believe in you so much. I do, actually.
All right.
That is inspiring, Clara. No, I will be running Masks, the fantastic teenage superheroes game here on Happy Jacks, and
a narrative game.
I am so excited. A story game, perhaps? No.
Wait, but what meal are we having?
Yeah.
Right.
It is a potluck pastry event.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know exactly what that
okay, perfect. All right. Like always, we're going to leave you with a song. This week we're leaving you with South Australia from the world famous Poxy Boggers, and you can find them at poxyboggers.com. And yeah, see you next week. Bye.
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 In South Australia I was born.
Heave away, haul away.
In South Australia round Cape Horn.
We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you rolling kings. Heave away, haul away. Haul away, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia.
As I walked out one morning fair,
Heave away, haul away.
was there I met Miss Nancy Blair.
We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you rolling kings. Heave away, haul away. Haul away, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia.
I shook her up, I shook her down.
Heave away, haul away.
I shook her round and round the town.
We're bound for South Australia. Haul away, you rolling kings. Heave away, haul away. Haul away, you'll hear me sing. We're bound for South Australia.
There ain't but one thing frees my mind.
Heave away, haul away.
To leave Miss Nancy Blair behind.
We're bound